November 2008, I am about to deliver my first evaluation as a Toastmaster, and I am nervous. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I deliver a lot of evaluations for this club. I'd say that over the years, I've given 70 or 80 evaluations, most of them right here. Now, I probably seem pretty comfortable these days doing an evaluation, but let me tell you, it wasn't always that way. An evaluation is essentially an impromptu speech, and in November of 2008, I still dreaded impromptu speaking. And on top of that, who would I be evaluating but Betti Woodford? And that's Betti with an I. B-E-T-T-I. A retired teacher in her mid-50s, Betti had only recently joined our club. Just a few weeks before that, she had delivered her icebreaker speech called, what else? Betti with an I. We were instantly captivated by Betti's quiet charisma and her innate storytelling ability. So, you can imagine my terror when I realized that I would be evaluating Betti's second speech. What if I couldn't think of any suggestions for improvement? What if I had absolutely nothing to say up here? What if I gave, oh good Lord, a whitewash evaluation? While Betti delivered her second speech, I sat there taking copious notes in my horrible lefty scrawl, afraid I would miss anything I could speak to up here. Finally, it was time for me to take the lectern. Now, I would be lying if I told you I remembered exactly what I said. What I do remember is being extremely anxious and not making much eye contact with anyone, not even Betti. But I did manage to make a few suggestions for improvement. Now, likely I threw out some generic Toastmasters advice like, make better use of the space and get away from your notes. Didn't matter. For me, it was done. Now, while I thought my evaluation was just okay, Betti made a point to come up to me after that meeting. Amy, I just wanted to thank you for that wonderful evaluation. Your recommendations were spot on. What? Here was this woman who'd spent decades educating children, delivering lessons in front of multitudes of classrooms, and she's thanking me for some minor suggestions about body language? But I'm glad she did, because that marked the beginning of our friendship. Now, at that time, I was preparing to move to China for 6 months. And after that, I would be coming here to DC to do my MBA. The time I had left in my home province in Canada was short. Yet the few talks I had with Betti were special. Unlike many people in my sheltered part of the world, Betti understood my desire to travel. She told me with excitement about how just the year before she had ridden a camel for the first time in Qatar. She couldn't wait to hear my stories about China. Now, I left my Toastmasters Club in Canada in January 2009. 2009. I'd been with the club for 2 years, and I earned my CC there. Yet during my time in China, Betti was the only Toastmaster who wrote to ask how I was doing. Her email subject lines were always the best. Settled in, Miss Amy. Hello, my friend. She would tell me I was missed in the club. She wrote to me about her next speech project. When our most senior Toastmaster left, Betti asked if I wanted her to sign my name on his goodbye card. Betti's branch of friendship even extended to my mother. When my mom came over to visit me, Betti wrote to say, "Tell her to look me up when she's home. I would love to meet her for a coffee." By June 2009, my time in China was drawing to a close. I planned to come back to Canada briefly before moving here in July. My first day back, I'm sitting there lazily scrolling through, guess what, Facebook, like you would, catching up on everything I'd missed. And amongst the funny pictures and status updates, I see some more serious posts, including one about a tragic hiking accident that happened just 2 days before. I continue to scroll through my newsfeed. Then, I see some of the status updates from my Toastmasters friends. Wait, something is not right. My heart starts to hammer, and I lean closer to the screen. What? R.I.P. Betti.
Oh.
Betti. Spelled with an I. In a disbelieving fog, I slowly weave the pieces together. She loved the outdoors. She loved to hike. It was a freak accident. Instead of meeting up with Betti and regaling her with my tales of China, I go to her funeral. The church is standing room only. Betti with an I had touched so many lives with her warmth, her positivity, and her gentle, gentle smile. Only 7 months had passed since I had delivered that evaluation, and she'd eagerly come up to thank me. It took just those few moments for her to make that impact, and for both of us to make a new friend. Betti wrote to me in one of her emails, "Amy, I miss you already at Toastmasters. You gave me such encouragement from my first drop-in visit last year, right up to our chat at that last meeting. We will miss your friendly smile." I still think about Betti, especially when I'm about to deliver an evaluation. She showed me that sincerity is more important than textbook advice, and it might even make you a friend. And so, as she wrote to me 5 years ago, I say to Betti with an I still miss your friendly smile. Mr. Toastmaster.